9/11 is a day that we will never forget. It is a day that will be etched in our memory forever. And today we're going to pay a tribute to not only 9/11, but to any and everybody since that day who lost their lives. And you know, when we think about it, we've talked about it for a couple of days now, and knowing Detective Paul Nelson and knowing what the city of New York, the firefighters, the EMTs, what they went through, it makes it even more real for me because I know somebody personally who was there that day. I know somebody who worked for months there. And when we look back on that day, today is also a very special day in our family because it's Riker's birthday, and we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of America. And probably the ugliest day in American history would be the day that we allowed our nation to be taken down by terrorists. But at the same time, when you listen to the words of the Alan Jackson song, our nation came together. We stood in line, we held each other, we prayed with each other, we came together. And I think right now is a perfect time in America for us to come together again. So we're going to pay a tribute to all of those who lost their lives that day, but more than that, everybody who is continuing to lose their lives as they fight, many of them fighting cancer because of what happened to them on 9/11, what happened to their city on 9/11, what happened in Pennsylvania in a field, what happened at the Pentagon that day. You know, when Jen was here with me, we would talk about it a lot because she was actually at the Pentagon. And you think about the smell, the horrible taste in your mouth of all that stuff in the air. And those people are still here, but many of them are leaving us because of illnesses from that day. So now let's pay tribute to them.
Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? Were you in the yard with your wife and children, or working on some stage in L.A.? Did you stand there in shock at the sight of that black smoke rising against that blue sky? Did you shout out in anger and fear for your neighbor? Or did you just sit down and cry? Did you weep for the children who lost their dear loved ones? Pray for the ones who don't know? Did you rejoice for the people who walked from the rubble and sob for the ones left below? Did you burst out with pride for the red, white, and blue, and the heroes who died just doing what they do? Did you look up to heaven for some kind of answer and look at yourself and what really matters? I'm just a singer of simple songs. I'm not a real political man. I watch CNN, but I'm not sure I can tell you the difference in Iraq and Iran. But I know Jesus and I talk to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us, and the greatest is love. Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? Teaching a class full of innocent children, or driving down some cold interstate? Did you feel guilty cause you're a survivor? In a crowded room, did you feel alone? Did you call up your mother and tell her you loved her? Did you dust off that Bible at home? Did you open your eyes and hope it never happened? Close your eyes and not go to sleep? Did you notice notice the sunset the first time in ages, and speak to some stranger on the street? Did you lay down at night and think of tomorrow? Go out and buy you a gun? Did you turn off that violent old movie you're watching and turn on I Love Lucy reruns? Did you go to a church and hold hands with some strangers, stand in line and give your own blood? Did you just stay home and cling tight to your family? Thank God you had somebody to love. I'm just a singer of simple songs. I'm not a real political man. I watch CNN, but I'm not sure I can tell you the difference in Iraq and Iran. But I know Jesus and I talk to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us, and the greatest is love. I'm just a singer of simple songs. I'm not a real political man. I watch CNN, but I'm not sure I can tell you the difference in Iraq and Iran. But I know Jesus and I talk to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us, and the greatest is love. And the greatest is love. And the greatest is love. Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day?
Today is a day in history that we will never forget. You know, I remember when my husband called me and we were talking, and at that point in time, he had not been diagnosed with terminal cancer. We were just a couple of weeks away from that diagnosis, and so 2001 changed a lot of lives, but certainly it changed my life, because within the year, 11 months and 3 weeks actually from 9/11/2001, I was standing at his casket, and a lot of things happened after that. A lot of things in the world changed, and one of the things that I think about every single day is how if you become a widow at 50 and you know your life is planned to live out as two people, two incomes, and then all of a sudden there's one income, you see things very differently. And last night after I went down to a meeting, I was going through some receipts and thinking and kind of putting my head together on some thoughts, and I thought about how much the world has changed. But then I looked at a day on 9/11 6 years ago when a little boy was born. His name is Kiker John, and you have got to see him. You saw him as a baby here on the set with his mom and his Gigi. You have seen him many times with me. And so today, even though things are crazy and hard in America today, we celebrate those that we are worried about leaving this world to. So to Kiker John, happy 6th birthday. In 6 years, the world has truly changed a lot. During the administration that he was born under, things were very, very different. And today, the economy it's a struggle. Instead of paying $2.99 a pound for ground beef, it's $5.49. And instead of paying 69 cents for a dozen eggs, it's $1.89 to $2.39. So when they talk about the grocery prices have gone up, the price of raising a child has gone up. The price of getting them to school has gone up. The price of them playing sports has gone up. Everything we do for our children, but would we change it? Would we not do it? Of course not. So it means you pick up an extra job, you do an extra this, you do whatever to make life good for your children. And that's what we want to do as we face the next days of America. Now, the next days of America, last night I was with these two wild and crazy ladies. We had the best time. And we went to a meeting and we talked about what can we do to help America bring us to a point that we are back in good standing with the economy, with safety, with many, many other things. So I've chosen some things I want to do today, and a couple of them are songs. I chose a song that's just a happy, feel-good, you love it song, and it's by the Barker Brothers. Then I chose a couple of songs by Mr. Ellijay because I thought, you know, there are some moms out there that are not celebrating because they lost their sons and daughters when the Afghanistan disaster happened. And we're going to talk about that when we come back. But we just want to share some upbeat music with the Barker Brothers, and we want to remind you that the Barker Brothers are going to be doing some events, and we will show a flyer showing you all of that. Get out and kind of forget about the problems of the world and enjoy a little bit of the fall weather. Get out there and take somebody who doesn't normally get to get out and take a ride. Just take a ride across the mountain and put in some good music. Put in some of that toe tapping stuff. So we've chosen a little bit of music. Some is really thoughtful because we're going to do Precious Memories, and we all have some precious memories. And then we're going to do Rocky Top, which is one that everybody loves. And we're just going to kind of get ready to talk about something else. But I want to start with this because I want us to remember the easier, the simpler, the better days in America. Here we go. Nanny's going to show you how to do this. This is our pan that we're going to put bread pudding in. Oh, see this? You coat it in butter. I touch it? Yeah. See, you can touch it. That's butter on your hand now. Okay, all right. You got butter on your hand? Oh, now we got a problem. Okay, we got butter on your hand. This is the simplest bread pudding and it is so yummy. And we're gonna start, Riker, I want you to,
No.
wait a minute, I'm gonna help you hold it.
No.
Okay, you're gonna crack the egg. Crack it again. Okay, wait, gotta crack on the side one more time. Good boy, crack again. It's coming. Okay, now look. You did it. Oh! You did it. You can touch it if you want to. Okay, here you're gonna do one more.
One more.
One more. Okay, crack it. Crack, crack. You crack till you hear it pop. There you go. You heard it pop. Now, we're gonna get it. Oh, be careful so the shell doesn't go in there. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna show everybody. Look, one of them busted and one of them didn't. See? But that's okay. Now, you're gonna stir this. Can you stir this like this for Nanny? Stir, 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 stir.
I'll touch it now.
You can touch it now if you want to, because you're gonna be eating this, so that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. You can touch it now? Okay.
No, no.
Okay, now listen. Okay, to this, Riker, look, this is a cup. We're gonna add some sugar.
Missy now.
Now you stir it now. Oh, how cool is that? Look, stir and stir. And do you remember that Uncle Tim got you this bowl for your birthday? Did you know that? Okay, now look. Nanny helped you get the sugar in there really, really good. Now,
Wow.
look at what we're gonna do now.
Milk now.
Let me tell you what we're gonna do now. Wait, we're gonna put bananas in there.
Yeah.
See the bananas?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're gonna stir the bananas in. Can you do that?
Oh.
Oh, you can do it.
Yeah.
You got it?
Ooh.
So we have eggs, sugar, bananas. How
Yeah,
about that?
I'm good.
Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good at this? You're
Yeah.
really good at this?
I'm very good.
You're really good at this. Okay. Now,
ready?
Nanny is going to give you, let me show you this. Hold that down. Hold it down. We're going to give you Silk Vanilla Almond Milk, 80 calories. And there you go. There's that. Okay, now gently stir. As Nanny adds it, you stir gently. Stir. Stir.
Wow, I'm very
Okay,
cool.
keep it in the bowl.
Very
Okay.
cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Keep it in the bowl.
Wow.
Okay, you got it in the bowl? Now, let me show you the magic.
Yeah.
We're gonna trade Riker's bowl for Nanny's bowl. And in Nanny's bowl is the spurtle that you love. Let me tell you what this is. This is condensed milk. And we're gonna add Riker's ingredients to Nanny's condensed milk. And then it gives us more room to put the rest of the milk. And we're gonna put just a little bit more. Okay, can you stir that up now? And I'm gonna teach you a lesson that my mommy taught me. I want you to smell this. Can you smell this?
Yeah.
Doesn't it smell good? Vanilla smells so good, but you know what vanilla tastes like if you put it in your mouth?
Yeah.
It's not good until you mix it with food. If you just taste it by itself, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Are you getting it? Get the spurtle and just stir, stir, stir. You're doing a great job. We have to get all the condensed milk off the bottom of the bowl.
Yeah.
You're doing really, really good. Thank you. Now let me tell you about this. This is an apple cake that Nanny bought at the store and it was not yummy. It was dry. So Nanny created this recipe using the dry cake because you gotta doctor a dry cake.
I mix it.
You mix it. Now hold your spurtle down in there and you just do this.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, keep stirring.
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to help you a little bit? You go ahead. I'm going to get a spoon so I can also help you.
Yeah.
Let me get a...
She did. She helped.
I'm going to help you. Yeah, Nanny's going to help you.
Bam, 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 bam,
Bam, bam, bam. Did you watch Emerald Lagasse? He says bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Are you going to be Emerald Lagasse's helper?
No, I'm gonna mix it now.
Yeah, now. Do you want to try this spoon?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. We're losing some. Okay, we're going to add a little bit more milk. See that? That's almond milk. It's vanilla almond milk. Okay, is that cool?
Yeah.
Now, we're not going to stir it too much because we don't want it to get mushy, okay? Is that really cool?
Yeah.
Now, let me show you this. Okay, hold tight. I'm going to put the nuts in, and then I want you to stir up. These are candied pecans.
Yeah.
Can you stir all that up?
Eat this.
Can you do that?
Eat
Get your
this.
spurtle down in there. Stir, stir, stir. We want to get the pecans all the way through it.
Eat it.
Can you do it? Yeah, we'll eat it in a little bit after we cook it.
Eat.
Your daddy
Nut.
loves this.
I eat a nut.
Your daddy loves, yo, you'll eat a nut. Your daddy loves this.
Wow. I'm done.
Daddy loves it.
I'm done.
Is it done?
Yeah.
It's almost done.
I believe.
Now, we got a little bit more cake we're going to put in there. A little bit more. And a little bit more milk. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And a little bit more milk.
Ooh.
Now see how simple this was, Riker?
Yeah.
What do you think of this? Think you're going to like it? I think it's going to be exciting when it comes out of the oven and Riker made it. How cool.
Oh, I'm done.
Can you say spurtle?
Soda.
Spurtle. Yeah. Jen gave us that spurtle for Christmas. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Jen gave it to you. Okay, now, Nanny's gonna pour half of it in this pan. Let me take it up. And I'm gonna, because when you make bread pudding, you make it to share with neighbors.
This.
So, hold still, that's got butter in the pan. So we're gonna make some for us and some for neighbors. And that's what you do, you share.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to be a good neighbor.
I touched it.
You can touch it if you want to, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. What do you think of that?
Oh, a milk.
Wow, what do you think of
It's
it?
a milk.
Now hang tight, Nanny's got to get a knife. Hold tight and don't put your hands all over it. Let's get a knife and let's put a little bit of butter.
Me too.
Now look, we're going to dollop. Okay, here.
Cracked.
Can you put the butter in there? Put
Yeah.
the butter on top of it. Okay. Now here's more butter. Get the butter and just put butter here and there. Just a little butter here and a little butter there.
Cracked it.
It's good, like that. Like that. Like that.
I'm cracking this.
I think that's plenty of butter.
I'm
Okay.
cracking.
No, yeah, it's good. Okay, now can we show everybody? And we're gonna put this one in the oven. And we're gonna cook it for about 25 minutes on 350.
Egg shell.
Yeah, we're not gonna put an eggshell in it. Can you tell people what this is? Bread pudding. Can you say bread pudding?
Yeah. Bed pudding.
Bread pudding. Yeah, so there you go. There's Riker's lesson with bread pudding. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll show you the finished product in just a little.
There's a sweet and precious mother sitting in an old rocking chair. She is looking out that open window, and on her lips this servant's prayer. Oh dear God, I'm all alone. Won't you send my children home? Won't you touch their hearts and make them understand? I know they're busy as can be with their homes and family, but won't you ask the children, Lord, to visit me? It's a sad, heartbreaking, lonely picture of a mother just waiting to die, all alone without her children. Surely God will hear her prayer. Oh dear God, I'm all alone. Won't you send my children home? Won't you touch their hearts and make them understand? I know they're busy as can be with their home family. But won't you ask the children, Lord, to visit me? I know they're busy as can be with their homes and family, but won't you ask the children, Lord, to visit me? Folks, everybody loves this one. Precious memories, unseen angel, sent from somewhere to my soul. How they linger ever near me. Precious secret scenes unfold. Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. Precious sacred scenes unfold.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time. And delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
He's loose. He's crossed the 40 to the 50. It's a foot race to the end zone.
Keep it. He's got a little bit of running room. Hops over a defender, picks up the first down.
There he goes up the middle. He'll be cut down at the 20.
Is into the end zone for a Fannin Rebel score.
Catches it in stride. He'll go to the end zone.
Breaks the tackle. Touchdown.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Okay, you could see from the pictures that we showed this when we first opened today, Melinda and her sister, and we were at a meeting last night. We were at a Trump Force 47 meeting, and it is all about getting out the truth. And I want to share some truths with you, and you can decide for yourself how you're going to do and what you're going to do. The Trump record: success, strength, and prosperity. Low prices, lower taxes, and now no tax on tips, which is so great because I can tell you, working as a waitress for many years when I was younger, you hate to pay tax on something that you're really struggling and using that often to live on. Secure our southern border. To me, that is the most important thing that we can do for America. No taxes on seniors, Social Security, and no benefit cuts. Now, that is awesome, but I am so terrified if the other party goes in. She wants to give Social Security to all illegal immigrants entering the country. That means in just a very few years, Social Security will be gone. It will be empty. It will be over with. There will be none. We contributed to that, not the illegal immigrants. So, prevent foreign wars, peace through strength. Peace through strength is so very important. I don't think I realized what peace to me means until Riker decided to have his birthday party to be an Army theme. And I thought about that, and I thought, why is this kid 6 years old want to have an Army theme party? Well, it's part of America, part of the military, part of the things that you hear people talking about, part of talking about our veterans. The military is part of our history, and so we want to, we want to encourage men to grow up to want to be soldiers, women to grow up who want to be soldiers today. But in today's world, we are not giving them the support that they need. And the things that I was looking at, the record of the other party, the skyrocketing inflation, the tax hikes, the illegal immigrant invasion, taxes on Social Security and benefits devalued by inflation, fund foreign wars, weak on global stage, soft on violent criminals, and illegal amnesty. Now that's crazy. But after the debate last night, I sat and went over lots of comments of people that I know and trust and love. And I want to share some of them with you because I was blown away at the comments. So I'm just going to go over some of them, and I want you to put this in your what did my granny say, put it in your pipe and smoke it. I want you to just listen. Okay, I didn't watch because I don't watch the late night shows. But Jimmy Kimmel he's clearly a blind follower, making fun of Trump, mentioning some immigrants that have been eating household cats and dogs. Google this. It is true that that is happening in Ohio. There are so many videos of people calling the police on people eating their pets. It's not fake. So there was not any fact checking for the other party, but for the Trump candidacy, they fact checked and they really nailed it to him. It was crazy because he was telling the truth, and they were 3-1 against him because it was the two moderators who are totally liberal and totally on the other side. And then this is one of the things that I loved, and I'm not going to give any of these people's names who gave these comments, but this is Channel 2. Why don't you go out of Gwinnett County and go to Cherokee County and ask them how our opinions of the debate are? Very, very different. And then anyone else catch that she refused to answer the question about the abortion? Now that's my big problem, because I would not be here had my mother had an abortion, obviously, that my father set up on a backstreet alley. But today in America, you can get an abortion at 8 or 9 months pregnant. And that, to me, is not abortion, that is murder. So she didn't answer that question because she's for it. Open your eyes, people. Just because she is a woman and a woman of color does not qualify her to be the president. Now, these are not my comments, these are other people's. There are so many other women of color that I would vote for in a heartbeat. She is not the one. She is horrible. Now, these are other people's comments again. But I want to share them with you because when I looked over the comments, I thought we have a wide variety, and it was all age brackets. It was just all different people, and I just kept looking at them and reading them, and I thought, man, this is amazing to me. But here, a lot of people were talking about, you know, I just got a headache watching the debate because it was just, it was so one-sided. And one lady said, I know my blood pressure was high, I still can't fully calm down. And then the other lady says, yeah, me too. They didn't even tell anything about her plan. She just kept giggling and smiling. And there was nothing to smile about in last night's debate because they were telling the truth about the state of our nation. And the state of our nation is not good. So, and these are some comments from other people. And again, I'm not going to give anybody's names. Praying for full success of the Republican ticket. May God keep all in the palm of his hand and make America great again. And then the other lady says, he is still my president. And then another one, and Donald Trump is our only prayer. And then another one, I pray to God to take over and place him back in the White House. If not, we're in what the Bible talks about in Revelations, prayer, prayer, prayer. And then here's a lot of people are having to admit he's right. Let's focus on winning it all. Tout his accomplishments and what he has planned for the future. Keep putting that out there for everyone to hear. And that's what we need to hear. We need to hear the truth because we didn't hear the truth from ABC News last night. We didn't hear any truths. So it's absolutely crazy because they were so whop-sided and so one-sided. I don't watch ABC anymore. I haven't for a long, long time. Now, here's something that it's just so crazy, y'all, because I got comments from every age bracket. It was just wild. Okay, former President Trump says America's senior citizens have been hit very, very hard by inflation brought on by the Biden administration. The Republican presidential nominee has a plan to help ease the burden of the nation's elderly population, and he took to social media to deliver a promise: no tax on Social Security benefits, to help the seniors on fixed incomes who are suffering the ravage of Comrade Kamala Harris' inflation nightmare. I'm promising no tax on Social Security benefits. And he wrote that, he has said that, he has promised that. And if you look at his last administration, it was promises made, promises kept. Promises made, promises kept. And that's what's so important. Now, this is something that I want to talk about because this was the one point that I jumped up out of my seat and I was ready to smack the TV. Watching ABC News an hour before the debate, this lady said her blood pressure was already through the roof. I can't believe that they dodged any responsibility to Afghanistan and was so frustrated that she nearly started calling him names. That's when I can feel the heat in my face. Her theory on focusing on the future is not the past, is what she's standing on. Seriously? You can't take accountability for lives lost and you're going to fix the future? Stating she's had only one client, the people, which to me was just a joke. What can't I do for you? She will ask the 13 lives lost. Now, this is where I just fell apart in that election. I mean, in that debate. When I was watching that, and she had this smirky grin on her face as she was talking about the pullout in Afghanistan, and the words out of her mouth were, we chose to pull out of Afghanistan because it was costing you taxpayers $300,000 a day. Listen, lady, 13 lives of 13 military personnel, men and women, were cost that day. The price of freedom is never free. But you and your commander-in-chief stood there and made a decision to pull out too soon, too fast, unorganized. According to the guys who were working with them, they said too fast, not organized, not the correct pullout. 13 lives. Now, your little $300,000 a day comment about how it was costing, oh, we're saving you taxpayer dollars. At the same time, she's promising to give illegals in jail, on the street, wherever, she's going to pay for their transgender sex changes with our tax dollars. She's going to give illegal immigrants $25,000 to pay down on a house. She's going to pay crazy stuff out of our pockets. It's not out of her pocket because her pockets are empty because the government is broke. So when she started making all those, my mind, when she made that comment, I thought if I was one of those Gold Star families, I would be on her front porch this morning and the Secret Service couldn't keep me off of her. That was totally not what should have done. They should have managed it. They should have had better planning, but all they wanted was to say, oh, we pulled out, we did this, we did that. They also left $85 billion worth of equipment in the foreign countries that we were just abandoning, you know, just leaving them. So we made them wealthy. Think about it. Can y'all count to 85 billion? Do you know how much money that is? And that was all this new military equipment. Now, we could use that military equipment. We could all, it would be nice to have that equipment right now, but we don't because we left it in a foreign country for people to use that had no right. Now, this is other comments that people made. I don't know about you guys, but I'll take mean tweets and cheap groceries any day of the week. And people just had comment after comment after comment. And when I think about that, I think about, you know, we don't know. We know what she's done the first 3.5 years. I know what the second term of Biden and Obama did to the economy in the United States. I know 60 friends personally who had to file bankruptcy. I know so many people who lost their small businesses. I'm not ready for 4 more years of this mess. And so that's why I attend the meetings I do. I support the person I support. I do the things that I do because I have these little ones coming up. And they're my only worry because I'm old. I'm going to be gone before long. And when I'm gone, I don't know how they're going to get through it because we have not prepared the world to give them a job opportunity, give them housing opportunity. They can't even buy groceries. And there are so many families now. I know families that are living with 3 different sets of people in the same family in the same home because one went to college, couldn't find a job. One went to college and found a job but then couldn't buy a house. One went to their older age and their retirement didn't last as long as their life did, so they're having to move into the basement with their kids. I mean, it's crazy. We have let the economy just absolutely go. It's nuts. It's just absolutely nuts. Yesterday morning when we left here, it was my grandparent day to spend some time with Xana, and we went over to Mike's and we had breakfast. We had a great breakfast, and we paid the bill. And when we paid the bill, I thought, I don't know how they do this for that price because I know the price of groceries. I worry about the small businesses in Ellijay and Blue Ridge and Jasper and Ball Ground. These small businesses are taking hits because if you go to the grocery store and instead of spending $95, you spend $165 to $175, that's a big jump. Now think about every time a truck pulls into these restaurants that we love to go to, everything they buy, the prices are going up. Well, if they jack the prices so high, then we can't afford to go there, then what happens to their business? So we have seen the fruits of this mess that we've had in the White House for 3.5 years. But nothing, out of everything I saw last night, the fact that ABC was so biased and never fact-checked her, and then after that, I did the fact check, and every single thing that they didn't call her out on was a lie, a lie, a lie, a lie, lied. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And out of all these comments, I've got 50 more comments of people, and they all said, we fact checked, that was a lie, we fact checked, that was a lie. But the one thing that she really lied about was that Donald Trump was going to call for a ban on abortion. That's not correct at all. He said, put it back to the states where it belongs anyway, and it does belong with the states. You know, it's not a federal, it shouldn't be in the feds. And nothing that she said made any sense or was true. She never told how she's going to get the $25,000 to give these illegals money. And in California, They're actually giving $150,000. Well, California's already broke. She broke California before she left it and went to D.C. So I don't know where anybody's head's at, but my head is trying to get back to the grocery store, get back to the gas station, get back to the safety of my country. I've never been afraid to go anywhere alone, and now, all of a sudden, I'm very afraid to go anywhere alone, because we are in a sense of it's not a good safe feeling. It doesn't feel all warm and fuzzy when you're out at night and you're looking around behind you and you're worried and you're wondering and you're thinking what's going to happen next, because it can happen anywhere in America. You know, once that border was opened and those millions of people, they're going to migrate where they can find work. They're going to migrate where they can find somewhere they can rob, cheat, steal. You've seen what they've done in Colorado. You've seen what they've done as the guy went up to Indiana, left Colorado, went to Indiana and stabbed the girl. I mean, we are looking at a disaster, and it was created by the administration, and nobody else to blame. Nobody else to blame. You know, when that wall was built, and it was so close to being finished, and then the election went the way it went, there was nobody to say, this is working, let's leave that wall. First day they started taking down the wall. The first day they started taking down the wall. And then we look around and we wonder, why is the crime up? Why are the drugs up? And let's talk a little bit about the drugs. Let's talk about how many families in our area have been affected by the drug trafficking. How many people have been affected by your kid, somebody gives him something at a party and the next thing you know, he's been an addict for 5 years. You know, you think about that. That didn't happen in the America that we grew up in. And there's no excuse for it to be happening in the America we live in today. But we have a choice, and the choice is very, very clear. We have got to get back to the basics, back to the Bible, back to Lord. And I just think about God looking down here and saying, y'all are in a mess. You have created a mess. We created a mess because we didn't stay strong. And I think we have to get back to strength. I think it's very important that we get back to strength. And so I know last night when we were at this meeting, what to do with my paper, we were talking about different things. And one of the things that I thought was really important to me, I was sitting in a room full of people, and I was in Forsyth County. And there were blacks, there were Indians, there were several people with accents, like one sounded like German. These were all, they came here legally, and they live in our country today. But they came here the right way, and they are productive, they work, they have small businesses. That's one of the things that I liked about the group last night, was they were business owners, or people who are trying to start a business, or people who are trying to survive keeping their business open. And I thought, that's what we're about. We're about a working America. And we are a working America. When you think about the apples that come out of Ellijay every fall, you think about what it takes to produce them. You know, the cost of running the tractor through the apple trees and doing the picking and doing the cleaning up. Do you know what the fuel prices have changed? They're like double what they were 4.5 years ago. That's crazy. That's crazy. So that means when you go pick up a bag of apples that used to be $8, it's now $16. It's because of the cost of doing business. And we don't want any of our small businesses to suffer. So, you know, to me, we have one choice, and the choice is very clear. So I hope that if you watched the debate, you took something away from it that was good. And I hope that you will, you know, maybe sit back and do some fact checking yourself, because many of the facts that were brought out last night, they didn't question her. They didn't do any fact checking on her, but I did. And the facts were incorrect. And I was kind of, I can't believe they got by with this. I can't believe this. Well, I knew that going into it, because we knew the moderators were very liberal, and we knew that they support her. And, you know, we've even seen, well, there have been all kinds of polls and all kinds of things that when they talk about her on the news, it's always positive. When they talk about President Trump, it's 93% negative, which is just absolutely crazy, because he's done so many great things for America. So, you know, it's your choice. It's your choice, and you make the decision, and we have to live with that decision. So I hope that you'll make the right decision. I'm really worried. I'm stressed about the safety. The safety is my big concern because I think about Ansley and Zana out running around shopping, buying, whatever. We've seen people who will pull up to a gas station, put a gun to your head, and take your car and $20. You know, they don't care. They don't care. So it's very scary, and I think it is time that we did get scared, and we get scared of how do we get where we are today. If you go to the grocery store today, that'll scare you to death. And I've got to go to the grocery store, and I buy what's on sale, I spend what's in the budget, and try to do the best you can. But there are families who really can't put food on the table. And I think that's what this election is about. It's about, can you feed your family today? Can you work a normal job? And can you buy a home? No. Can you work a normal job and can you get a new car? No. Can't do that. Can't do any of the things that we were used to doing. You know, we used to trade cars every 2 years. I'm driving a 10-year-old car now. It's a very different world. It's a very different world. The car dealers are paying the price for it, the price of tires, because petroleum, and that's the one thing I'm an expert on. 38 years in the trucking business, I can tell you, I dictate what you pay for groceries because the trucker rules the world. You can't get it if a truck doesn't bring it. And if a truck can't buy fuel, can't buy tires, can't pay insurance, and can't keep drivers, then you're not going to get it. And when she started all this about price gauging, which she said, and it's price gouging, there's no price gouging going on. The grocery stores are making minimum profits, 1.5%. How do you keep the lights on for 1.5%? The cost of doing business starts with the fuel industry. And they made a disaster of the fuel industry. You know, when you look at what it takes to deliver a load that we used to deliver for X amount of dollars is now twice as expensive to deliver. Get you some strawberries today and you'll see the difference in the price because they come out of Arizona. They come out of California. You know how they get here? A tractor and trailer. All of that, all the transportation industry dictates the price of what you're buying, whether it be a loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, butter, whatever it is, it got here on a truck. And you better hope that the truckers don't finally say, we're done. We're sick of this. We need to just park these rigs and let them see what they're going to do with their strawberries now. Because not only are the prices up, the wages are not going up because there's no money left. By the time you buy the fuel, you pay the price increase of the insurance, you buy the tires that have over doubled in price, you have a repair, forget that. I mean, that's just unheard of. Then you're out of business because you can't keep doing it. We're in a mess. We're in a mess, and I think it's time that we really look at it seriously and we decide, how do we get out of this mess and what do we do? It's not going to be easy. This hole is dug deep, and it was dug deep by people who made promises that they did not keep. They said it would be better. It is certainly not better. That is one big bold-faced lie. And every time I go to the grocery store, me and the little butcher kind of grin, and I'm like, nope, not buying that today, not buying that today. I look for the day a pot roast is not $8.95 a pound. I look for the day that a pot roast is what it used to be, $2.99 a pound. I've seen it at 89 cents a pound, but that was long, long ago. But what I'd give to get a good old pot roast for $2.99 a pound. That's what it's all about. It's all about you, your family, your safety. What can you put on the table today? Soup, beans, and taters, that's a good meal, but you get tired of it after a while. Every once in a while, you want a piece of chicken or you want a steak. And speaking of steak, the farmers are struggling. The farmers are struggling, and without farmers, America doesn't eat. You know, if you sat down to some good old corn that came out of the field, a farmer grew it and a trucker brought it to you. They can't do it if they can't make money. And at today's cost of doing business, they're not making money. And Mike's, you know, my breakfast yesterday was a perfect example to me. When I got in the car and I thought, we got all that food for that? That was a bargain. At today's prices, it was a bargain. And I thought, how do they manage this? Well, they have to be tiny, tiny profits. tiny profits. How many years do you want to stay in business if you're making tiny profits? We've got to stop the madness. We've got to come together. And today, if you do nothing else for 9/11, you sit back and you think about those 13 men and women who lost their jobs because a failed withdrawal when the military, the upper military, was telling them, no, it's too fast, we're not organized, we can't do it. There will be casualties. Of course there were. And those Gold Star parents had to listen to her last night as she talked about the cost of staying in Afghanistan. They could have stayed 2 more weeks and saved those 13 lives. They could have stayed 5 more days and organized and done a better job than they did. But they chose to do a failed pullout. And when they did, they cost 13 young people their lives. No excuse for it. Absolutely no excuse. I hope that you will think about today. 9/11 is a day in history. I hope we don't see another one. But I have this horrible, horrible feeling that with what's been allowed to come on our shores, what came across that border is going to cause havoc in my United States of America. Please today pray for the United States. Pray for everybody serving in foreign countries and even here on the border. You think about those men and women who go to work every single day to protect a border that you can't protect because it is an open border. I'm surprised that more agents haven't lost their lives at the border. So please today, gather your family around the table. If it's soup, beans, and taters and a loaf of bread, do what you can to change our country and head us back in the right direction. I'll see you again soon. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, but I hope you really think about where are we headed in America.